after what was apparently a hoax call. Well, after a hoax call pushed Pakistan on this verge of war, hotlines crackled across the globe and India was flooded with emergency call. And as war hysteria peaked in the neighborhood, Pranab Mukherjee has now finally reacted. In a snub to Pakistan, he asked how Zardari could act on a hoax. In a written statement from the Ministry of External Affairs, this is what the minister had to say, and I quote here, my last conversation with Zardari was in May 2008 during my visit to Islamabad. I did not make any such call. The only Pakistani leader I spoke to after the Mumbai attack was their foreign minister Shah Masood Qureshi. I was informed about the call from friendly countries. It's surprising that Pakistan could even consider acting on the basis of a hoax call and try to give it credibility. Pakistan is trying to confuse the public by releasing the story in part. It's the handiwork of elements in Pakistan who want to divert attention. Well, at the moment, we are joined by our Foreign Affairs correspondent Geeta Mohan on phone line for more perspective on this. Geeta, this statement from the Ministry of External Affairs, mincing no words, but in fact turning back and accusing Pakistan of acting so irresponsibly as to press the panic button on the basis of a hoax call.
Very rightly so indeed, Neha. The fact that a hoax call was taken so seriously and they were actually contemplating military action itself goes to show that Pakistan is a fledgling democracy. It is yet to understand what the state of democracy means, and to a certain extent when we say before these attacks, when we are talking about, or before even the elections were held in Pakistan, when most of the international community had in fact declared Pakistan a failed state, it is just about proving itself to be that. Now, given the fact that there was a hoax call, the ministry should have, the foreign office of Pakistan should have checked with the Indian officials. This is a huge revelation to just to show that how non-serious Pakistan is about a military option. Now, we are talking about 3 names that were given to Pakistan for extradition. Now, here there's a report from Washington Post which says that even the ISI Hamid Gul was named in that list. Hamid Gul himself has confirmed that there is no such news of an ISI of Hamid Gul himself being arrested. Now, this also goes to show that how things are changing, and this is a pressure on U.S. Now, we have to note the fact that if Pakistan is talking about hoax calls and military option, that itself goes to show that they would be moving troops from the Afghan border to the Indian side. Right. This is a latent pressure on U.S. This is to pressurize U.S. U.S. would not want Pakistan to move its troops from the Afghan border because they require Pakistani troops on the Afghani side. So this is basically pressurizing U.S. to act on favor of Pakistan.
Right, Geeta, but also another part of that statement from the Ministry of External Affairs says that Pakistan decided to release the story in parts somewhere down the line, also clearly pointing fingers at the fact that a story was released in this effect by the Pakistani government, considering they're already aware of the fact that the subcontinent is very tense at the moment and that both are nuclear-armed states.
Very true, Neha. The fact that the hoax call was made on the 28th, that was when the operation in Mumbai had not gotten over. Right. The operation got over only on the 29th. Right. And if a hoax call was made on the 28th and plating on a military option then and there itself, and then later on they come out with reports in the Pakistani media, right, this surprised the Indian media. We were surprised to see that something of the sort of this magnitude was taking place within Pakistan. Right. And then Pakistan goes on to revealing it to the Pakistani media, and we only get to know through the Pakistani media, just to show that it could well be a pressure tactic that Pakistan is implying, that Pakistan is applying, on U.S. and also on the international community. Right, also, a very interesting fact here, Neha, that our other neighbor, China, has been quite reticent on the Mumbai terror attack and how the international community, or US for that matter, is handling the affair. So just goes to show that Pakistan still holds a geostrategic position in the South Asia, in the subcontinent.
Right, Geeta. Well, many thanks for joining us with that perspective. At the moment, Irfan Mahsood, our correspondent, also joins us from Islamabad. Irfan, the kind of news that we have been getting in that just on the basis of hoax call, Pakistan was already, it had already pressed the panic button, clearly shows a very, very irresponsible attitude.
I think the Indian media is referring to the reports of a hoax call made to the presidency. But here and on our part, in this part of the region, there is no confirmation about any call received by the president's office. I personally spoke yesterday to the president's office people. They said it's not that easy to come across through a phone call to the president, and there are a number of officers in charge before receiving a call to be transferred to the president.
All right, Irfan, but at the moment the news that we have been getting in from the sources is that apparently Pakistan was it had already put its air surveillance on high alert after apparently receiving a call which turned out to be a hoax call. In fact, Indian Ministry of External Affairs has also reacted to this by issuing a written statement on this. What's the sense that you're getting in Pakistan regarding all that? Does it seem more like a pressure tactic at all?
No, here on ground there is all quiet. You know, this is all media hype has been created to escalate the tensions between the two neighboring countries. The Pakistan military and air force is busy on its western border along Pakistan and Afghanistan, along the tribal region, and we haven't seen or we haven't even heard from any of the government factions that military has been mobilized to the eastern border or air force is being high alert. There is no such kind of evidences.
Right, Irfan. Well, many thanks for joining us with those details. At the moment, we're also joined by Raza Laskar, PTI correspondent from Islamabad. Raza Laskar, first of all, the fact that such a call, there are reports of just on the basis of that, to put security forces on high alert clearly indicates very irresponsible behavior.
Well, you know, a couple of things have to be put in perspective. This call was made last Friday, and it was taken pretty seriously by the Pakistani establishment.
All right.
And in fact, you know, it has subsequently come to light that the ISI chief had a background briefing for some Pakistani journalists on Saturday last, at which he had said that if this threat was true, Pakistan could think of moving its troops from western border to the eastern border. Of course, subsequently the Indian High Commission got into the act, and you know, a lot of queries and clarifications were done, and the Indian government has informed the Pakistani government officially that no such call is made. So obviously, I mean, this is, you have to remember that the sensitivity of the situation, and the Pakistan government really wasn't taking any chances. They did indeed think this call was genuine. In fact, we had a statement from the Information Minister, Sherry Rahman, yesterday, and she reiterated that this call was made from an official number of the External Affairs Ministry, and that it was put through to President Zardari after carrying out cross-checks and verification.
All right, Raza Laskar, well, many thanks for joining us with those details. But if those the different levels of checks were carried out properly to verify that this call was in fact made from the Ministry of External Affairs, and how come it turned out to be a